If any of these clues are showing up in your business, your struggle isn't a failure. It's a sign that you've hit a natural stage of business growth. You've built something successful, you've got a growing team, but if you're still the one solving every problem, juggling all the details, and carrying most of the weight, it's time to make a change. Your team might be busy, you might be working harder than ever, but if progress feels slow and you're constantly stepping in to keep things moving, something is not working. The good news is it's not your fault. Most business owners go through this phase. And once you know what to look for, you can fix it. In this video, I'm sharing 5 subtle but powerful clues that your business has outgrown its current team structure, and more importantly, how to shift things so that your team can take real ownership and help the business grow without everything falling back on you. Stick around, because if you catch these signs early, you can avoid burnout, regain momentum, and finally scale your business to the next level while creating the freedom that you've been working for. Here's what most business owners don't realize. As your business grows, especially when you're moving from stage 2 to stage 3 of business growth, what got you here won't get you there. In stages 1 and 2, hustle works. You've got a small, committed team. Everyone pitches in, wears multiple hats, and jumps on whatever needs to be done. That's the all hands on deck mindset. It's what helped you grow in the beginning, but at a certain point, it stops working. Not because your team isn't capable, not because you're doing anything wrong, but because your business has grown. It's outgrown the way work is currently getting done. Let me give you a quick visual. There's a story about a lobster, and as the lobster grows, its shell starts to feel tighter. It becomes uncomfortable, even painful. But here's the thing. The lobster can't grow unless it sheds its shell. It has to leave that hard shell behind, become vulnerable for a little while, and then form a new shell that fits where it's headed. That's how growth works. And it's the same for your business. The systems, the roles, and team dynamics that helped you to succeed at the start can become the very thing that slow you down if you don't evolve. Everyone's busy, but projects stall. Clients aren't getting the same experience they used to. You want to delegate, but you're not sure things will actually get done. You're growing, but you're starting to wonder if you're growing in the right way. That's the tension point where businesses either plateau or pivot. If you want your team to operate at a higher level, if you want to scale without burning out, you need a new structure, one that matches where your business is now and where you're headed. And that's why smart business owners make the shift from everyone does everything to each person owning outcomes that align with the company's bigger picture. It's not about making your team rigid or micromanage. It's about giving them clarity, focus, and structure that they need to truly succeed without everything depending on you to hold it together. So let's walk through 5 specific clues that your business has outgrown its current team structure and what to look for before burnout, confusion, or stalled growth starts to snowball. Clue 1, you rely on the same few people for everything. Now, this one is incredibly common, especially with longtime team members who've built with you since the early days. I worked with one business owner who had 2 rock star employees. They were smart, dependable, and deeply loyal. She trusted them completely. So naturally, they became her go-tos for everything. Client issues, tech questions, last-minute admin tasks, fire drills. She leaned on them every time, and they never said no. Because they cared about the business, because they wanted to help, and because that's how it's always been. But over time, something started to shift. They were constantly buried in the day-to-day, so much so that they couldn't take on the bigger responsibilities. They weren't leading projects, building systems, or mentoring new team members. They were stuck in the weeds, and the business was feeling it. Important initiatives were stalling. Strategic goals kept getting pushed back, and worst of all, the very people she needed to elevate were burning out. Here's what's really going on. The business had evolved, but the structure hadn't. This isn't a loyalty issue or a people problem. It's actually a leadership challenge, and a solvable one. When a few people carry all of the weight, they can't rise into the leadership roles your business actually needs. So how to fix this? If this sounds familiar, here's what to do. 1, get clear on what each person should own. Start by identifying what your key team members are responsible for, not just what they're responsible to do. You'll likely find a gap between what they're capable of and what they're currently focused on. 2, remove the low value work from high value roles. Your most trusted team members shouldn't be stuck in the weeds. Start pulling the simple, repeatable, or reactive tasks off of their plate so that they can focus on the work that drives results. 3, start defining roles for where your business is going. Again, what got you here won't get you there. It's time to evolve job descriptions, responsibilities, and expectations so your team grows alongside your business. Relying on the same few people for everything feels like a strength until it becomes a bottleneck that slows your entire business down. The sooner you shift these roles, the sooner you unlock real momentum for you, for them, and for your business. If this is hitting home so far, just type a yes in the comments so I know that I'm not the only one who's seen this happen. Clue number 2, there's confusion over who owns what. Now, this one can sneak up on you. When roles aren't clearly defined, people hesitate. They're unsure where their responsibility ends and someone else's begins. So they wait, or they step into something that's not theirs, or they assume someone else is handling it, and nothing gets done at all. If you've ever heard things like, "Oh, I thought she was taking care of that." Wait, wasn't that your responsibility? Or the worst one, "I didn't even know that was on the list." That's this clue showing up loud and clear. This kind of ambiguity creates friction. People start second guessing themselves. They either check in with you constantly or worse, they disengage completely. And you know where all the confusion ends up? At the top. Because when no one is clear on ownership, the default becomes ask the boss. So even if you've hired a team, you're still the one holding the mental map of who's supposed to be doing what. And that's not scalable. Let's talk about what to do instead. So if this is showing up in your business, here's what to focus on. 1, define ownership, not just tasks. Instead of asking who's doing this, start asking who owns this. Ownership means that someone's responsible for the outcome, not just checking off a to-do list. Next, make the invisible visible. Often confusion isn't about competence, it's about clarity. When roles are only in your head or vaguely communicated, the team can't act with confidence. And 3, create clear lanes so people don't bump into each other. Defining roles creates freedom. It helps your team move faster, collaborate better, and stay aligned without constantly needing your approval. You don't need a 10-page org chart, but you do need clarity, especially as you grow. Okay, clue number 3, everyone's busy, but progress is slow. Your team is working hard. You're not dealing with laziness or a lack of effort. People are showing up, staying busy, and checking things off of their to-do list. But somehow the business still feels stuck. Strategic priorities stall, big decisions don't get implemented, and the important things, they always seem to get pushed to later. If everyone's busy, the business isn't moving forward. You don't have a people problem, you have a structure problem. This usually happens when roles are overlapping or too vague. Team members are stuck reacting instead of proactively leading their areas. Or no one's focused on the higher level results because everyone's caught in the daily task work. It's not uncommon to think effort equals progress. In a growing business, that's not always true. Without the right structure, your team's energy can get scattered and momentum disappears. So let's talk about a quick fix for this. If your team's always busy but still feels stuck, here's what to do. Look at what each person is spending time on and ask, is this moving the business forward? Make sure each person on your team knows what success looks like in their role, not just what to do, but what results they're responsible for. This isn't about micromanaging, it's about helping your team focus on what really matters so their effort actually creates momentum. Clue number 4, your top people are doing the wrong work. You've got a smart team, capable team members, but they're buried in the weeds. They're chasing down emails, solving tech issues, updating spreadsheets, or answering the same questions over and over. They're busy, but not in a way that drives growth. You've got $30 an hour employees doing $15 an hour work. And even worse, you might be doing that work too. It creates a kind of logjam. Your team can't take more off of your plate because their plates are already full of stuff someone else could do. Think of it like a domino effect. Your key people can't step into leadership. You can't delegate what really matters, and you end up stuck doing the strategic work and the everyday stuff. It's not that your team isn't trying, it's that your structure hasn't evolved to support the level of work your business actually needs. So here's the quick fix for this. If you want your business to grow, your team needs to grow too. Not just in size, but in role. Start by removing low-level tasks from your top people's plates. Then give them the space to take on more meaningful work, so you can focus on the things only you can do. Yes, it is a growing pain, and yes, it might feel like you're flying a plane and building it at the same time, but this is a necessary shift if you want to scale. And the final clue is clue number 5. You're hiring to survive, not to scale. When the work piles up, what do most business owners do? They scramble to hire someone, anyone who can help. But here's the problem. When you hire in reaction to stress or chaos, you build a team to survive and not to grow. You're not building a leadership structure that matches where your business is going. So even though you're adding people, you're still the one making the big decisions, directing traffic, solving the hardest problems, and holding everything together. That's a structure problem, not a staffing problem. If you want to scale, if you want to grow, you need to start thinking differently about who you're hiring, why, and when. So what needs to shift? Instead of reacting to what's overwhelming you right now, start building a forward-looking hiring plan that's aligned with your long-term business goals, your vision, the kind of clarity that allows you to shift responsibilities, promote people into leadership roles, and bring in new hires who are a fit for the future, not just the present chaos. Action tip: ask yourself, do I know who my next 2 or 3 hires should be? If not, that's your next step. Planning ahead gives you time to hire strategically, promote internally, and finally build a team that can grow with you. If you saw yourself in any of these signs, don't panic. You're not behind, you're not broken, and you're definitely not alone. What you're experiencing is normal. You've hit the edge of your shell, just like that lobster I shared earlier. And now it's your time to build a team structure that supports your next level of growth. Most business owners I work with never learned how to structure a team to scale, because that's not something anyone teaches when you're getting started. But the good news is it's not too late to fix it. Start by defining clear roles and responsibilities so everyone knows what they own. Elevate your go-to people into leadership roles with real accountability. Create a simple hiring plan based on where your business is going next, not just where you're overwhelmed today. Want to know where to start? Take my free Stages of Business Growth quiz at bossbrilliance.com/quiz. You'll get a clear view of what stage you're in, where things might be breaking down, and what to focus on next to scale smarter, not harder. If this video was helpful, hit like and subscribe, and tell me in the comments which clue hit home for you today. Thanks for watching.